Entre muchos absolutos desastres que salieron de una entrevista tan corta que de por sí empezó 20 minutos tarde, ya que Kamala Harris llegó a las 5:17 p.m. para una entrevista que estaba programada a empezar a las 5 p.m., ¿ok? Y después solo le dio 20 minutos a Brett Baier para hacer la entrevista. Y me pregunto, Kamala, ¿qué estabas haciendo que estabas tan ocupada que no podías darle 40 minutos, por ejemplo? No, 20 minutos es todo el tiempo que tienen, ¿ok? Por eso Brett Baier le pregunta, ¿por qué no puedes dar una cifra? ¿Por qué no puedes hablar de lo que ha pasado bajo la administración tuya y de Joe Biden? Y ella se queda simplemente sin palabras. Observen.
The decision to terminate remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration.
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the... Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please? But you have to let me finish,
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate,
I'm
and they
in the
didn't bring
middle
up
of
that bill.
responding to the point you're raising,
Okay.
and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority. As the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state,
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
Six Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it.
Six Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the six Democrats. But more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungary, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There is no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungary's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions.
But you frequently talk.
Miren, una vez más, ¿pueden imaginar a ser una persona que ha sido afectada directamente por el crimen ocasionado por inmigrantes indocumentados y tener una persona como Kamala Harris diciendo, lo siento mucho por su pérdida, ¿ok? Lo lamento mucho por su pérdida. No lo lamento mucho por ser partícipe de la administración que permitió que estas personas que terminaron cometiendo estos crímenes atroces estuviesen en el territorio nacional. No lo lamento mucho por eso, no. Lamento mucho su pérdida, ¿ok? Kamala Harris es una sinvergüenza. Es una real sinvergüenza, una cara dura. Una persona que no le importa nada ni nadie más que ella llegar al poder. Y acorde a eso va a decir lo que tenga que decir. Una persona que unos años atrás decía que ella quería descriminalizar el estatus de ilegal en el país, que ella quería cerrar los centros de detención, lo cual eso se traduce en efecto simplemente dejar que todos entren como Pedro por su casa. Ella pertenece a un partido, el Partido Demócrata, cuyos dirigentes, figuras como Chuck Schumer, figuras como Nancy Pelosi, han dicho que lo correcto sería darle un estatus de plena legalidad a todos los inmigrantes indocumentados y a todos los que quieran entrar. Entonces es una cosa realmente sinvergüenza lo de Kamala Harris con respecto a este tema, y por eso es que la gran mayoría de ciudadanos en Estados Unidos me apoyan a Donald Trump en el ámbito migratorio, ¿ok?
to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support.
When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
Ahora, miren, entiendo lo que acaba de decir Kamala Harris. Eso fue hace 5 años que yo dije eso, ¿ok? Hace 5 años. Hace 5 años ya tenías, ¿qué? 54 años. No eras una muchachita, ¿ok? No eras una recién graduada de una universidad estudiando ciencias políticas. Tenías 54 años. Tenías toda tu vida adulta en la política. Entonces decir, no, hace 5 años yo dije eso, sabe mucho tiempo. Por eso en este caso, Kamala Harris trata de hacer parecer, no, bueno, yo he cambiado mucho. Yo aprendí mucho en los últimos 5 años. Aprendí lo que tengo que decir para tratar de ganar votos. A eso se refiere.